Now, there's few better things in world golf than watching Rory McIlroy go at it full tilt with driver, just like this. So I'm going to show you a little magic move that Rory makes that I can't guarantee is going to get you swinging it like him speed-wise, but will definitely pick up speed, pick up distance, and get you hitting the ball if not like Rory McIlroy, a little bit more like him. So you can see there, the ball launching just right at target, turning over, my low point behind the ball, club travelling up, club speed at 107, which is more Rory the racing car than Rory McIlroy, but ball speed at just under 160, carry at just under 250, and 286 total. Right, so like I said there, maybe not quite Rory McIlroy's speed, but the driver is such an important club in the bag. And if you can get a bit more distance, keeping the ball in play, not necessarily on the fairway, maybe just semi-rough, but a bit more distance off the tee can make a massive difference to your golf game. So, first thing I'm going to talk through is what mistakes I see most club golfers make with driver. So I think most golfers now are pretty used to the fact that as they set up, nice wide base, they get that ball forward and they maybe get that extra little bit of spine tilt, knowing that if they can get the lowest point behind the ball, club's going to move up and that's going to get them hitting up on the ball, high launch, low spin, and more distance. But the first issue I tend to see with golfers is because they know that they need to get behind the ball, they tend to move back nicely, get that pressure into that right side, but on the way down, they really sit into that back foot, and then as a result, it's a great result, and we can see I have been behind the golf ball. I've hit up 2.2 degrees, club speed's dropped down for me there. Now, my ball speed's dropped down, carry was okay, total was down a little bit. But we could see there 4 miles an hour slower because I've just stayed way behind the golf ball. Now I know what you're thinking, I need to be behind the golf ball, don't I? Yes, we do, but in a slightly different way that Rory demonstrates perfectly. So I'm just going to show you his swing in slow motion and show you what we're talking about with this magic move. So we see Rory at address, nice wide base, definitely gets body set back behind the golf ball, and as we can see, as he rotates into his backswing, doesn't move off the ball, but just presses down into the ground with that right foot, turns around that right hip, but then gets a massive shift with his hips towards the target, and they actually get a little bit lower. So he actually looks as though he moves in front of the golf ball, but then as he straightens that left leg, the left hip moves backwards. That's making his low point behind, but also getting more energy from the ground up through his body and into the club head. So, when we've watched that slow motion, the big key is what Rory does from the top. So he gets to the top nicely, but then that first movement isn't just a turn out the way. What he does is he moves massively towards the target. Now, a lot of golfers are told about not swaying, sliding towards the target. And I think as a result of that, that's where they feel they have to stay back. But the three ways you generate your speed in your golf swing, we move side to side with our pressure, we twist into the ground, and we push into the ground. So what Rory seems from a camera to do great is he loads onto his right side, shifts, there's his side to side, then his hip starts to turn out the way, and as he straightens his leg, his hip actually goes back behind him. So we can see he does the sequence in the right order and looks, I've not seen any pressure data, but looks like he does it phenomenally aggressively as well. So the first thing we need to feel if we're going to get that magic move more like Rory is the first thing is once we get to the top of our backswing, we're going to shift aggressively down and towards the target. So when you work through this video with me, don't worry if initially these don't quite go where we want. We're going to see by shifting more aggressively, can we initially get that speed moving up a little bit. So from a good setup position, Okay, so it felt good. So yes, low point moved ahead. I can accept that. So clubs travelled down 1 degree. Club head speeds jumped to 106.3. Ball speed at just under 159. Carry at 257. Total at 278. Now I'm not necessarily expecting you to do that first time, so rehearse that movement. Back, big aggressive movement into that lead side. Now I know what you're thinking though, as I'm moving that way, that's moving my low point ahead of the golf ball. So it's not making me as efficient as possible, but that's the first step in making sure we get that movement just like Rory. So the next step we're then looking for, and like I said, it might take you a few swings of doing that, is once you get that big shift into that lead leg, then what you want to feel is as that leg straightens, the hip goes back behind you. That, as you push off the ground, will create a little bit more tilt, move the low point behind, and not only get a little bit more speed, but then improve that angle of attack. So it's tricky, and like I said, it will take a few swings to get used to, but we're going to get a big shift and then feel that that lead hip goes back behind me. Okay, so don't worry about accuracy to begin with. Low point's 4.4 inches behind. Club's travelled up 3 degrees. Club speed has jumped to 109. Ball speed has jumped to 164. Now I appreciate my carry and total weren't great there because I've just turned it over. But I'm getting more speed and I'm getting more of the Rory McIlroy movement. So let's go with that one again. So on the way back, nice big turn. Shift aggressively towards the target and get that lead hip going down and forward. Then straighten that leg, get that hip going back behind you. So we're set up, we're ready to go. So again, didn't quite get the strike. But again, 5 inches behind, 3.2 degrees up, 108 club speed. Again, just under 160 ball speed. And even with a miss hit there, nearly 260 carry and 280 total. Now, I can feel a little challenge coming on for me. So I had 164 ball speed before. 168 ball speed is my maximum ever. So let's see if I can be really aggressive with 2 or 3 and see if I can get club head speed up and ball speed up even more. Again, I'm not worrying about where these are going to begin with. Okay, so there's definitely that speed's there. Now, obviously, I did make the comment at the start that a bit more distance in play would help. So, let's now try and get that feeling. Expecting maybe just to draw the ball a touch with this movement. Got a little wider, maybe help with that side-to-side shift. The movement felt good, a little low off the face, so nearly 6 inches behind, 4 degrees up. 109.3 club speed, ball speed 163 and 274 carry and 292 total. Right, so let's go one more final one. So I know definitely for me, that first movement, something I don't do as well as I could do with driver. But once I get, and it feels very heavy on that lead foot, then I can really get kind of getting the hip out of the way, pushing into the ground and getting a bit more energy. Now it's a bit chilly down here today. I definitely feel like I've got 110 in me speed-wise. So let's go one more using Rory's magic move. Let's get some distance. I've just aimed a little right, not quite shaped that one back. Club speed not quite where I want. So definitely some good distance there at 275 and 297. Can't finish on that one though. One more biggie. Let's see if I can get over 110 club speed. Again, felt low off the face. Got some work to do on that one. We can see 6.5 inches behind, 109 club speed, just under 162 ball speed, but 262 carry 282 with a bit of a miss hit. If you can really work on that big turn, aggressively move towards the target and down into that lead leg, then as you straighten that leg, you can get a little bit more of Rory's speed and start hitting driver longer and further than ever before.